Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Today I'm streaming something and then sorry, I am trying to record a video and then after the video week review, or maybe the other way around. I think I wanted to record the video first and then do the reverse thing, but I don't know. Maybe I will do first week review and then afterwards the video, or first I do the video, because in 40 minutes I have to go to pick up my clothes from the dryer, so I will be like AFK. So I don't know if like 40 minutes is enough to record this video. I think this video it should be short. It's more like a leaving my thoughts out there to see if I'm right in the future. But I don't know. I think I will record it. Yo, how's it going? I think I'm going to record the video first because it's just short, and I think by trying to record it I will I guess realize what I'm making wrong, or what I'm thinking wrong, or what gaps there are, and then I will record the more or less final version and I upload that, and then do the week review. Okay. One, two, three. So you do you, I don't mind. So I think I'm going to do the week review thing. Sorry, the video idea first. Well, first I'm going to go through the video idea, and for that I'm going to show this. So this is the video idea. My thoughts on the AI bubble, right? People are saying like there is an AI bubble or whatever, and and I'm not sure if I agree or not. I don't know, but if there is an AI bubble, I think the bubble is definitely like we're going to look back on the prices and be like, whoa, those were cheap back then, and now when the bubble bursts, we're going to be afterwards like, whoa, ChatGPT was so cheap back then, or like Gemini giving out free AI credits for their language models was kind of crazy how it was so cheap. This is my intuition if the bubble crashes, right? If it is not a bubble and the prices keep going down and it keeps getting cheaper and cheaper to use, and like it keeps getting like more everywhere and it is not a bubble, right? Then that won't be right. But if it is a bubble, then I think that is what will happen. And I don't know whether it is or not a bubble. So if it's a bubble and it crashes, and if it's not, okay, no, and whether it is or not, ChatGPT, like OpenAI /OpenAI, seems to be not profitable. Double right now, according to ChatGPT. I asked. It says that it has like a burn rate, like high burn rate, not enough revenue in comparison. Well, IMO, it's cheap right now because it still sucks, at least for most things. Like I would use it or try to use it, and I feel like the more it gets used, the worse it gets currently. So maybe it's even a good thing if it gets more expensive, since then only people who really get something out of it use it, and the expectation for it get higher since you want something for your money. I guess, but for example, cars back then used to be so shit, right? For example, a car at the beginning of the day was like, I don't know. Let's check. How much was a Model T? Here it says something like the first Duria motor wagon cost approximately $1,500 back then, which is equivalent to $43,000 in 2020. And it was this piece of shit. So it's like a horse carriage costed the same as a horse carriage with a one horsepower engine costed the same as a BMW 340i, right? So it's like the price of things in cars, for example, has actually kind of gone down, right? Despite what people say. It's like with your salary back then, you could buy so little car compared to what your salary back today buys you in terms of car. So in terms of AI, it's kind of similar, right? So it's like just because it sucks doesn't mean it's cheap. That's what I meant, right? For example, this car sucked, but it was really expensive because it was new. So it's like maybe it gets better and cheaper, or maybe it gets worse and more expensive, or maybe it gets worse and cheaper. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea about cars, but neither now or old cars, so I can really tell. But I know that in the beginning you could use AI to get references and text for research, and now there is so much AI trash that other AI use as reference and get worse over time, creating more and more trash. At some point you can't really know what is actual anymore since everything is full of AI garbo, I guess. This, for example, looks real, but it's probably like AI helped. this one is like definitely AI. I haven't even read it, but I know it's AI. It just has the vibe of being AI. And yeah, that's basically my thing, my video idea. I could open, Gemini AI Studio or something like this. Vibe code AI apps. Describe your idea. Yo, what the fuck? Let's click this, for example. I don't know. I don't want to do an app, sorry. Let's see. Bye. Dashboard. The book. This is what they wanted to do. Gemini Pro. This is what they wanted. Yeah, on the other hand, I don't use AI a lot, but you on the other hand, teletext is AI generated without reading it, since you know some of the ways AI talk. Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, so now I have to move my face here. Boop. Boop. Okay, so I'm going to just start. And I guess use this as pause button. My thoughts on the AI bubble. My thoughts on this are that if it's an AI... Okay, let's see. My thoughts on the AI bubble. Okay, I'm not an expert or anything, so I don't have very deep thoughts about this. I just have like two branches of thinking. One of it is like whether it's a bubble or not, and that one is the most uncertain. And the other one is like, if it is a bubble, what do I think will happen? And yeah, so first, whether it's a bubble or not, ChatGPT slash OpenAI seems to not be profitable right now, and yeah, they have a high burn rate. They don't have enough revenue for this, but that is the business model, right? The venture capital business model is like that. You try to like invest, make this thing boom or whatever, and make it grow without turning a profit, and then at some point it has to turn a profit. and then you have like big market share or whatever. So in my opinion, I don't know how to tell whether things are a bubble or not. But if it is a bubble and it crashes, this is where my mind would go to. So inference prices in things like Gemini AI Studio, for example, here. Fuck, I'm going to start again since this was a pretty bad take. My thoughts on the AI bubble. So I have two kinds of thoughts. I'm not an expert or anything, so they are not super deep, but they go in two branches. One is whether it's an AI bubble or it's not an AI bubble, and the other one is like, if it is a bubble and it crashes, what are my thoughts on it? And whether it's a bubble, I think I'm going to go with my original order. My thoughts on this so-called AI bubble. I guess I'm not an expert or anything, but I have two thoughts on this. The first one is like, if it is a bubble and it crashes, where does my mind go to? And then whether it is a bubble or it is not. And in my opinion, like, I'm not an expert or anything, so I don't have many thoughts on that, but it's just like my intuition on it. And yeah. From the perspective of like, if it is a bubble and it crashes, what do I think will miss, or how will we be able to tell that it was a bubble or not? And in my opinion, things like this, right? It's like Gemini being so cheap, I guess. Not cheap. It's like Google letting you try Gemini for free. And these prices, like $15 per million tokens for the pro model with reasoning and such. I wonder if it will be like, if it is a bubble, will we miss this Google letting you code AI apps and like doing this kind of build your own app with Gemini and such? Will we miss this? If it is a bubble, I would say yes. And if it is not a bubble, then it will never get normal, right? So it will keep going down or whatever, and we will look back to today as like, whoa, it was so expensive then. For example, Uber used to be like $5 a ride or whatever, and now it's like 50, right? So before it used to be like this rideshare bubble, and then it kind of like the free VC credits went down, you could say, right? And now it is just a service that costs basically the same as a taxi, right? So what one could say, like, it's not definitive that these rideshare apps can endure this transition or not, right? Who knows? And in my opinion, this AI bubble is in a similar situation. It's like we can't really tell, and that is, I guess, what leads to my second thoughts, which is whether it's a bubble or not. And well, from what I've read, ChatGPT, OpenAI seem to not be profitable right now, and they have like high burn rate, and they don't have like enough revenue in comparison. So that is like very typical VC business type thing, right? It's like the VC venture capital business model. So it's like nothing rare there. I don't know if it's a bubble or not. That's where I am inconclusive, and I don't know enough about business, and I'm not like one of these predictor people or whatever. But it does have this same vibe that Uber in like 2015 had. Uber in 2015 was like, whoa, Uber is going to destroy everything. The taxis are over, blah 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 blah. And then it turns out that when VC money runs out, Uber costs literally the same as taxi. Same with Airbnb, right? Airbnb is another example of the same thing. Whoa, Airbnb, without Airbnb, with Airbnb, hotels are like so useless, blah blah. Then it turns out that Airbnbs, like 10 years later, Airbnbs are like equally the same price or even higher as hotels with shitty service and perhaps like even more issues, right? So it's like, that was just VC money subsidizing everything, right? So I wonder if there is like this aspect of AI of AI here, right? Even if it's not a bubble that will burst like the crash, like the housing bubble or whatever, right? Like this 2008 housing bubble. I think this is kind of what could happen. That we look back on these AI prices and we are like, oh, they used to be so cheap back then. They were like essentially subsidized by these companies trying to grow, and it failed. And then it becomes like super expensive to run AI things or whatever. And yeah, it's sad for the people who want to use it, and I guess better for the people who don't have to endure as much AI generated shit on the internet. And yeah, these are my thoughts. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If I have said anything wrong, could very well be the case, because I'm not like an expert on anything. But yeah, I'm open to hearing what you think about this AI bubble, whether it's a bubble or not, what do you think will happen, and so on. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. I think I fucked up at some point in the video. Let's check. My thoughts on this so-called AI. It's not definitive that these rideshare apps could like can endure this transition or not, right? Who knows? Burn rate, and they don't have like enough revenue in comparison. Uber costs literally the same as taxi. Same with Airbnb, right? Airbnb is another example of the same thing. Whoa, Airbnb, without Airbnb, with Airbnb, hotels are like so useless, blah blah. Then it turns out that Airbnbs, like 10 years later, Airbnbs are like equally the same price or even higher as hotels with shitty service and perhaps like even more issues, right? So it's like, that was just VC money subsidizing everything, right? So I wonder if there is like this aspect of AI of AI here, right? Even if it's not a bubble that will burst like the like the housing bubble or whatever, right? Like this 2008 housing bubble. I think this is kind of what could happen. That we look back on this AI price to run your AI generated shit on the internet. And yeah, these are my thoughts. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If I have said anything wrong, could very well be the case, because I'm not like an expert on anything. But okay, diese Sache ist erledigt. Let's see if my clothes are dry yet. Gmail. It was ready 30 minutes ago. Fuck! Okay, bye. Shit. Okay, so yeah, back, and as you can see, I didn't bring many clothes because it fucking ended, but it didn't dry my clothes enough, even though I thought I had used a setting that explicitly makes it longer. Makes it It's like a setting where you put a time and it's supposed to just dry the clothes out for that time, but it didn't work. So it lasted so much less time. And it appears like a sign that says something like uh, clean the dust particles or whatever from the fucking thing. And it's like, fuck. So I think I will just not wait the whole time because I know it will be like earlier when it finishes this drying cycle. I put it for 1 hour, but in, I don't know, in 40 minutes or whatever, I'll probably just do that. I'll probably just upload this video, then maybe do the week review, and when I'm done with the week review, I'll probably like go there, and then I'll continue stream or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Do you do you use German on the regular now? Not really, to be honest. I mean, every day I listen to German, but I don't talk a lot in German, except a little bit in class or something.
Entonces, los tiempos son los que matan los videojuegos, sobre todo los MMOs, que son los que más tiempo necesitan. Y que tú, en vez de rechazar un juego, en vez de demorar un juego en el tiempo, para sacarlo bien y para sacarlo correctamente, por culpa de 4 inversores de y de 4 hijos de tengas que sacarlo antes de tiempo, te cargas el juego. Y son never get a second chance of make a first impression. Tienes una primera oportunidad de una buena primera impresión. No tienes una segunda oportunidad de una buena primera impresión. Solo tienes una. Y esa bala, cuando la gastas, la jodiste.
I realize I'm not really against slavery. Yeah. I did a lot of thinking and I realized what I'm actually against is the chance of me being a slave. That's what I actually have the energy to stop from happening, right? If they announced that they were bringing slavery back next month, right, because Elon said it was more efficient. And in the press conference, they were like, you know, for obvious reasons, black people don't have to do this one. I would be like, well, let's hear all the details before we jump to conclusions. Right? We could all use a little help around the house. See, all y'all fake as shit. Cause you agree with me, but we fake now, cause young people look terrible. This is the fakest generation. Y'all just a fucking generation of HR ladies. You know this? Just walking around, that's not appropriate. Cause you young motherfuckers don't know this, but like because of y'all, the way everyone has to act now all the time, you used to only have to do that at work. You know? In the 90s, you know, you could clock out and be like, fucking ass. And it was still wrong, but you wouldn't lose your job. You know, now everybody gotta be fake, y'all. If I asked everybody in here, hey, are you cool with slavery? All y'all would be like, no, of course not. Especially if you thought I was recording you for social media. Then you gotta put a little extra on it. That's preposterous. You know, you gotta really keep up your public image. But you fake as shit. You fake, because listen, yeah, of course you'll say that you're not okay with slavery, but you live your life like you could care less. Right? There's more slaves now than ever. Slavery isn't over, it's just not here. Right? And we all benefit from it. And you know that deep down inside. That's why every time you get a good deal, you feel a little guilty. Yeah. You whisper it to people. You run out the store, my God, 10 peaches for $1. How do they do it? You know exactly how they fucking do it, don't you? You know precisely how it's done. I realize
He got a point. Real. Okay, now what was I going to do? Upload the video, right? I should have watched the fucking thing while it was uploaded. Oops. Now I zoom in your chat. Okay. My thoughts on the AI bubble. Bro. My thoughts on this so-called AI bubble. I guess I'm not an expert or anything, but I have two thoughts on this. The first one is like, if it is a bubble and it crashes, whether and then whether it is a bubble or it is not. And in my opinion, like, I'm not an expert or anything, so I don't. My videos are so fucking boring. I'm not an expert or anything, so I don't have many thoughts on that. But it's just like my intuition on it. And yeah, from the perspective of like, if it is a bubble and it crashes, what do I think we'll miss, or yeah, how we'll be able to tell that it was a bubble? Gemini, it will. Uber used to be like $5 a ride or whatever. The free VC credits went down, we could say, right? And now it is just a service that costs basically the same as a taxi, right? So what one could say, like, it's not definitive that these rideshare apps could, like, right? Second thoughts, which is whether is it a bubble, whether it's a bubble or not. And well, from what I've read, ChatGPT, OpenAI seem to not be profitable right now, and they have like high burn rate, and they don't have like enough revenue in comparison. So that is like very typical VC business type thing, right? It's like the VC venture capital business model. So that is on these AI prices, and we are like, oh, they used to be so cheap, and it's sad for the people who want to use it, and I guess better for the people who and don't have to endure as much AI generated shit on the internet. And yeah, these are my thoughts. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If I have said anything wrong, could very well be the case, because I'm not like an expert on anything. But yeah. Let's do the classic trying to generate a thumbnail. I'm failing massively because AI is shit. For some reason, we said incognito was supposed to be a smiley showing you cough. I mean, kind of. Like this would be more like with the eyes closed, like that. Should I do this? Maybe I could do something like this. No? I could try though. Scheiße! Yo, that's actually kind of crazy. Fuck it, I'm going to sign up because this saving was good. Wait, can't I now set not save this combo anymore? Fuck. I'm back. I threw some chicken nuggets in the oven. Oh, you can't see anything. I'm generating images on here. Oh, you can't see anything because I was just doing the thing. Let's do the classic which one does better. Oops. Yeah, I thought it looked pretty decent actually. Okay, I think now I can open Chrome. And now actually I can use some of these open links to talk about what I did. Okay, so week review. Well, week review. Yeah, week review. I call them week reviews, right? So, how was my week? This week was kind of interesting. It began kind of normal, with normal class with a normal teacher, I guess. And yeah, he began by telling us some. Whoa. He began he began by telling us some things like how the week was gonna go now that the now that he was going to be operated on Thursday and Saturday and Friday, sorry. And yeah, he showed us the building plans and such, and then we did just like normal electrical things. Then that day I wanted to go to the library because I was reading for some reason about these Eurostar trains the day before on Sunday, and this that used to be called Thalys. And I was reading the Wikipedia or something, and it mentioned that in an Asterix comic there are like some things called Thalix. There is like a jokingly named Thalix fake train from this kind of Roman Empire thing. And I wanted to check that comic out. So I looked it up on the library. And it actually was in this Neuperlach library. So yeah, I wanted to read it. And this Monday after class, I went by to the library to see if they had it. And they did have it, which was cool. Sorry, but on Monday, the library was closed. So I just got one of these teas that I like a lot, which are Japanese milk tea called Gogo no Kocha in this Asian store that's right by the library, instead of like going to the library, and just did some exercises on my tablet beside this kind of construction work going on. And yeah, I also took some pictures of the construction work going on because the cranes were interesting and such. So that was Monday. And yeah, that day I had ramen for dinner. I can show. And some supermarket sushi. This is chashu I made myself. The ramen is like from my mom's. And with some pak choi, some tebojino, or however that's called, like lauchzwiebel. Then Tuesday was a normal day in class, just the classical things, and then I did go to the library. I'm sure that tea tasted good, but to me it just looks like muddy water, muddy heaven water maybe, because it's so nice. Maybe black tea with way too much milk and cream milk. Yeah, it's exactly that, and also with sugar. And I went to the library. Well, this is me in class, and yeah, on the library, this was the comic I wanted to read, and these were the pages that where they mentioned this train. Here it says, du fährst zum ersten Mal mit dem Thalys. Gute Mine wie charmant. And Eilkarren nach Lutetia. So basically, these Thalys trains travel from like Europe from different parts in Europe to like France or whatever. So it was like from wherever to Paris, and it was like this Thalys train, so it was funny. And then yeah, it was like seit in die Gallische Bahn die GB eingerichtet hat, ist Lutetia wesentlich schneller und bequemer mit der Provinz verbunden. Verehrte Fahrgäste, aufgrund von Wildschweinen auf der Strecke fahren wir zurzeit mit einer Verspätung von 15 Sanduren. And it was like kind of funny. Right? And then, liebe Fahrgäste, aufgrund der Verspätung eines Vorausfahrenden beträgt unsere aktuelle Verzögerung nun 20 Sanduhren. Kind of funny. And then there was like another reference to it here. Nächster Halt, Lutetia Endstation. Achtet auf die Lücke zwischen Karren und Boden. Vergewissert euch vor dem Aussteigen, dass ihr nichts im Wagen zurückgelassen habt. And then here another. Liebe Fahrgäste, aufgrund eines beschädigten Fußeisens findet die Rückfahrt erst morgen statt. Kind of funny. And I took a picture of those relevant images. Then probably a dinner picture. Yep. Then some dinner picture. Tuna can with like some cream that I had left over and some spinach and such. It was actually decently tasting, but yeah, not my best. Then Wednesday, another class day, normal. P. Then I went to the gym. Then I tried to make burgers with caramelized onions and such. And then Thursday was when things got, well, not interesting, but Thursday was like a free day I had. So I just went to Aldi, I guess. And then I went to take some pictures up above the building by my side, because I wanted to go get bread for lunch that day, and that's what I did. Then I did make the sandwich. It wasn't really that good, to be honest. And Thursday was like a pretty empty day, but on Friday we went to Czech Republic, to Prague. So yeah, here is me going to Prague, Šupac, then taking the train to Ingolstadt. Well, actually to a small village north of Ingolstadt. Kinding, this was the place. Then yeah, we went with my friend's car. We stopped at this random restaurant in the more or less in the past the border with Germany, the Czech border, and this was like the daily menu or whatever. This was the food. I didn't take a picture of it, but my friend had some of it. It was like some rice with some chicken and spinach, decently tasting. It was like a notch above like school cafeteria stuff. It was like, for a cafeteria it was decent. For like this kind of cantina mensa vibe, it was like decent. This is his car. This is me. And this is arriving to Prague. Crossing a bridge. This is a thing that says Ano. Afterwards, we arrived to the hostel, and then we took some transit to go to the city. Skoda tram. Then this is the U-Bahn. Well, metro, they call it there. Tesla with a Georgian plate. The center around. A car around there. Cannabis shop, Pablo Escobar, Dubai chocolate, chimney cake. And then we went to a bar and had dinner. I had one of these half on halves. To be honest, the dark one tastes better. This one is too bitter for me. Then I had some steak tartare because it was cheap, and then I ordered some cheese, fried cheese. Fried cheese wasn't that good, but yeah. I took a picture at least. Then back home, sorry, this is the only picture I have of the hostel, me inside. This is the hostel, by the way. This is why I had this open. This is the reception. This is not my room, or could this be my room? This could be my room. It was like different orientation, but similar vibe. This was kind of the vibe. Kind of like random walls around. It had like a bathroom and a shower. There were like a couple of beds laying there, but also like these literas, bunk beds. And yeah, this was the reception. Interesting, from the reception there was a girl that looked like she was trans, so it was interesting for me, and I was like wondering how is like being trans in like Czechoslovakia or whatever, right? In like Prague, is it like a chill city for that? Is it like a difficult city for that? I don't know. And I was wondering about that. Then this is the next day, I think. Information. Yep, this is the next day morning. I took a picture because it said Milady, and Milady is like this fucking NFT, so it was like interesting. Car that I don't know what it is. I think it's a Zastava, but I don't really know. Maybe I could ask Google. Let's see. Moskvich 2141. Whoa. I'm going to send this to the friend with whom I was. So yeah, we saw this car. This was before the place where we had breakfast, I think. Then we arrived to the breakfast place. I had a chai latte and some pancakes. This was a decent breakfast, 15 euros, but decent. Well, my friend, me in the bathroom. It was like a fucking orange bathroom, so I was like, let's take some pictures. I was wearing a kind of orangey outfit or whatever. This was the cafe. Cafe Sahorsky, I guess. Then there were a lot of these fucking Swarovski Ariana Grande things. And I was going to tweet this. Something like, white trans have the fault for everything, or something like this. Seems like they are at fault for everything, right? Then we went to a tram museum. It was interesting. It was the first time. At the beginning, I was like a bit nervous or such, because I couldn't get like the audio guide working, blah blah blah. But then it was fine. essentially some trams, old shit, basically from a city that was crazy. This was like the craziest part. This is the tram where after the German invasion in like 1930 or like 1940 or whatever, and then like the names are in German as well. They forced them to do that, I guess. And then another thing they forced them to do was like there were like fucking signs where it's like no Jews in the fucking train, and it was like the first wagon, and they said that this V was like Germans put it there for like victory, like to show support for the troops or whatever, right? Like the Russians, like the Russian Z at places. So it was like an interesting parallel. This was like, I guess, the craziest part of this, and this wagon was like carried by the other one. I thought it was going to be like a little bit more technical and such. There was like a lot of historical information, right? So to me, it was a little bit annoying, I guess, because they didn't go too much into detail. At least on the audio guide that I used, they didn't go into detail as to like the decisions behind the technical parts of the train, of the trams and such. It was like more general history and like history of the particular trains, right? So it's like this wagon used to be like red before it was blue, and afterwards it was painted and restored to whatever, right? So it's like, okay, but it's cool that this is stored or whatever, and that you guys have this information. But I guess I wanted something more. Why the fuck did you change the trains, or more concretely, right? Something like this, right? But yeah. There were some trolleybuses as well. Apparently there are no longer trolleybuses in Prague, so that's interesting. And this was like a very long one, and then I took some pictures at this fucking wagon. This is because when I do this, a timer should appear, but it took the picture of me kind of smiling instead of like taking the timer. So it looks like I'm doing some retarded pose on camera, but actually no, not really. This was a fucking church. I don't know why I took this picture. Ah, yeah, I remember. We then afterwards we went to like the Prague Castle, and the Prague Castle was like, yeah, up there, right? So you had to walk a little bit upwards. And at the Prague Castle there was like a lot of people, because it was like some funeral of some like important cardinal of Prague or whatever, some anti-communist whatever. Then we went down, Volvo V8. What's this guy looking at? Ah, and then we went here. This is like called Havelska Kurnia or whatever, and it's like this kind of traditional Czech place. And yeah, Česká Kuchyně. Česká Kuchyně, I guess. Right? And yeah, he had this Knödel. They're basically Knödel. And this is Sauerkraut, so it's essentially like very German as well. But, well, Bavarian, I guess. It's like, in Bavaria, there's the same thing in Oktoberfest. I had it, I bought it on Aldi. And yeah, this is borscht. This is spicy borscht. It was really good. This was like perhaps a little bit too much. No, it was actually a decent amount of like bread. And yeah, this was an old car. Afterwards, we went to do some whatever. Got one picture of the landscape from a castle view. Got 3 pictures of a car. Your priorities are definitely different from mine, lol. I mean, it was an interesting car. It's like a Volvo V8. Right? I don't see many of those. Like, do you know that car? This engine is used in a Nobel car. Let's see. I'm actually amazed it doesn't show up here. There is this car called the Nobel, I think it was M12, that uses a Volvo engine. this one, the M600. And it's like this SUV uses it, and then this supercar also uses it. So it's interesting. This old car. And this was like a building, a pretty building or whatever. This was me in the bathroom. I don't know what this is. Oh, and then this is me in the bathroom of this place, actually. So this is called Seafood Market and Grill. We were like afterwards going there, and I don't know. I only know it has 4 wheels and was white. We went to have some. We had a reservation at the place that I'm going to show next, but before that, on the way, we had a lot of time to kill, because we went walking from there and here, and the reservation was at 8, and at like 4 or 5 p.m. we were like walking already, so we had a lot of time to kill. And the last 30 minutes or whatever, we went to here and we ate some. This was like the cashier, by the way. She was like really pretty, and they had like this seafood on display there, and you could like, she would grab a little bit and tell you, do you want this, and wait and like bill you afterwards. So decent, and it was decent. This was like this kind of street that was right by this sauna club and like cabaret spectacle type horny show. And this is the place we went to next, which is a restaurant that serves the food on fucking rails. This is food going in there. And that's fucking crazy. We were at this table, and you can see like all the time, you can see food going by on like it was quite hilarious, to be honest. I really like the place, just the concept. The food, acceptable, but I think this is actually our order. We did it kind of wrong because we didn't understand it fully, but he was doing like this kind of. If you let it go, like it will go back to you and go actually stop here, but we grabbed the thing here. I'd go there just to order beer and watch the trains. Yeah, it was literally that funny. I mean, it doesn't lend itself to. It lends itself to ordering a lot of beer because it is funny as fuck. Watching them coming in. On the other hand, it is actually kind of expensive. So, like the beer, but yeah. This was the food. He ordered like some steak tartare, and I ordered some ribs. I don't know, just random combination. I asked him to make a video of me. Oh, and then there were bigger tables where the train would actually like just back into your fucking table.
Ahora cambiará a rojo.
I'm saying that now it shoots to red or whatever.
Ah, porque está pasando el otro. Claro, claro. Qué bueno. Pero tienen que irse para allá.
And now the train goes backwards, and then it goes the other way.
Pero no puede empujar.
The ribs look pretty good. I'd get that probably too. They were decent, like not super incredible. They weren't the best ribs I ever had, but they were like decently tender or whatever. It was not the biggest quantity I had either. I've had more, but the combination was interesting. It was like ribs with like Dijon mustard and with sauerkraut, I think, but like purple sauerkraut. So it was like it had like a kind of Czech undertone or whatever. I don't know. It was a little bit different.
Perfecto, pero es para el orden de la esta.
And this place, why I would say was really funny. I'm really glad ChatGPT told me about it because that's how I found it, and yeah, it's actually really funny. And also, my friend, we went there to took a reservation the day before because the day before there was like a lot of queue. So I'm actually glad we had the reservation and we could go in that day, thought free. We just walked in, and there. This is me in the bathroom. Bathroom had actually like a big mirror, as you can see.
Va a venir por esta vía.
And yeah, this is like the restaurant. This is another table that has like 3 Gleisen, 3 tracks. See, when I think of trains, I only think in German. Gleisen, Weiche, Eisenbahn, Eisenbahn. And then this was the next place we went to have a couple of drinks. It was the same place as the day before, but the place below. And yeah, by this time, not gonna lie, I was kind of tired. I'm going to go into this a little bit later, which is the thing I had there. This is me in the bathroom. And this is the outside. Oh, and this is the next day. The next day, we went to shoot fucking guns. This was like the whole reason we went to Prague, well, to Czech Republic, was to go shoot guns. And then I was like, wait, I have a little bit more time this Friday because I said that Thursday and Friday I didn't have anything planned in class and I could go earlier, right? So we said, okay, let's extend it to the weekend. But this was like the reason. And yeah, this was the place. This is Eze. This is him. This is him shooting. There are some videos of me shooting as well, but I haven't uploaded them to this photos place. So this is all him. The rhythm was very much like go there, pa, shoot, then they call you back. So it's like I didn't have a lot of time to like record or whatever. But it was like fucking cool, not gonna lie. I really liked it. And all the guns that he's shooting, I shot. So he's shooting here a desert normal Glock. Then he's shooting here, I don't know. But yeah, the Glock was like, it was like moving a lot. It was also the first gun I had. It's light. I don't know what it is from here. Ah, yeah, this is like a 22 lever rifle. It's actually kind of quite cool, not gonna lie. This is an Uzi, Israeli gun. 1 point for AI, only 5 million to go, get even again. Lol. That 1 point for AI is something actually that is interesting. Let me save that. This gun was actually really fun. It had like a strange kickback. The cycling effect of the Uzi was like click click click. It was like instead of like clack and it shoots, it was like clack and it does some like clack clack behind you. I don't know how to explain it. I think you can hear it a little bit. It sounds like it's shooting twice, right? Ta ta but it's like something inside of it cycling, and it feels weird, but it's like I don't know. It makes it like not recoil a lot, but like I don't know. It feels good. Safety part is like behind you, so it's like ergonomic as well. I don't know. The Israelis, maybe it's maybe it's controversial to say, but the Israelis know one thing or two about war. Then this is a Colt, the Colt revolver, not revolver, the Colt pistol, 1911. Ah no, this is a Czech pistol. This one is actually like kind of heavy, and I didn't like it that much. This is a Scorpion Evo. No, this is the 223. No, this is the Scorpion Evo. Submachine gun. They tell you to shoot how do you say, headshots with it, so I assume it's the easiest gun. It also has like a red dot on it. This is an AK, Zastava AK. I also liked this one because I also like the way it cycles and the way it feels. I don't like how it gets hot on weird places. For example, the stock, like this part here gets hot, and the tip also gets hot, so it's like a little bit dangerous, it seems. But I like the cycling effects and such. This was the range in general. There was a lot of people. I expected a little bit less people, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a more private thing, but there were actually a lot of people, and it wasn't that bad. The problem was that it didn't leave a lot of room for pictures, you know. But yeah. Oh, this is the 223. Yeah, it's like an AR-15. This one was like really heavy, I think. I don't know why. Because the AK bullets, I think, are bigger, right? At least the diameter. Diameter is 5. I don't know. Oh yeah, I took some slow-mo shots of him. Oh fuck. I'm going to go check on my clothes. They're probably done by now. Well, because this was yesterday, right? So I could actually like. Oh yeah, he shot a huge ass revolver. I didn't shoot this one. I shoot a Mauser, like this carabiner gun. And yeah, then we shot sniper rifles. This one was some random guy, some random German, and he was shooting this fucking anti-material rifle 338 Lapua. And yeah, then we went home. Well, this is me. And we ate at some place some duck on the way in Pilsen. This is me in the bathroom. And yeah, then we went back home. Okay, and now I'm going downstairs to pick up my clothes. Hope there are no problems. And yeah, bye bye. Well, until now, until soon. Had to pee. Never seen anyone put their dried clothes in a bag. Lol, but I guess I never used a dryer in the first place or cleaned my clothes in a public place. I guess for a dryer it's better like a basket or something, but I don't have a basket for dried clothes, so I just use this bag I bought at Decathlon for kinda cheap. Oh, this is what I had yesterday for dinner, by the way. This bread was like super old, but thanks to I reheated it using ChatGPT's instructions, and the first bites were kind of super hard, but then thanks to this, it was decent actually. But yeah, I don't know what I'll have to do for dinner today. And yeah, now I wanted to go back to this after my video idea and after the week review. I wanted to, I guess, give a couple of thoughts I had. I don't know. This is, I guess, not anymore my vibe, because after seeing the trip backwards and such, the images that I remember are like good, right? I remember the shooting, which was fun. I remember the bar with the trains, which was also fun, etc., right? But there were some, I don't know, some small things, and it's not that I like to dwell on them or whatever, right? But it's just that they are things that hit me in the moment that remind me kind of, these are things that happen when I'm traveling, I guess, right? When I'm traveling, I usually get hit with this kind of like feeling of aloneness, right? I feel disconnected from the world. I feel like a lot of friction everywhere. Not in the travel per se, but I guess in interacting with people and such. And I don't know, I always feel like bad about things, right? It always leaves like I don't know, a bad taste in my mouth to have this feeling all the time whenever I do things like this, right? Like go on a weekend trip to somewhere. I don't know. Some examples, for example, it's just like with my friend, everything's chill, right? And I let him decide to do things or whatever, but I feel like I never get the balance quite right of letting him decide, or like because overall, when I think of it, I said something like, yeah, we reserved for the next day, and that was like a good choice, reserving for the next day and eating this first day some other place, and the other place that he chose was like good for me, etc. But there are like some moments of friction. For example, yesterday coming back home, where to eat there, right? I feel like we chose some random spot. It's not that the spot was bad or whatever, I don't regret going there, right? But I feel like the decision process, etc., I don't know, like I'm not good with decision processes. I don't like to be involved, right? So I don't like being asked, what do you think about this, right? It's like, I don't like to think about this at all, and then I'm like content with what it is. Or if I get to think about this, then I don't like judgment on my decisions and things like this, right? So I don't like feeling judged. So I prefer not to think about this. But then I don't like to be asked, what do you think about this, right? So there are these kind of small moments of friction, because when someone asks me, what do you think about this? Then I start thinking about this, right? And then I start like thinking all the reasons why it's good on the one hand, and I also think of the reasons why it's bad on the other hand, right? So if I don't have like a comparison to anything and I don't have a comparison point, it's like hard for me to be involved in that process, right? So yeah, that is one part, right? Decisions, right? Decisions. Saying yes is actually not bad for me, right? But saying, what do you think about this, right? This is where I go crazy, right? And it leaves like, then I start thinking about this, which I don't like to do. or it's like it's not that I don't like to do it, it's that I don't feel like I never get enough space to say what I think about this, right? So then I don't like to be asked that because I know there is no time to be thinking. So it's like when I get to think about it, then I can see the positives, I can see the downsides, I can see the good things, the bad things, right? It's basically that I don't like speaking up, right? I don't like saying things. So I don't like to be handed the opportunity to say things if I don't like speaking up, right? If I get led, then sure. And then if I get the opportunity to speak up, then I like to be listened to. That's it, right? And there are like a lot of moments like this over and over again, right? For example, there was like another stupid moment, but this friend asked me, where do you want to go, like over the bridge or like right along here? I was like, what the fuck do I know, right? It's like either we stop and think about this or just choose randomly. It's like, and if it's a random choice, then I don't know why I have to do the choice, right? It's like I just follow and that's it, right? And like if you want to follow me because you don't want to make the choice, then you say, I follow you, whatever you choose. It's like I don't mind, right? But then you go behind and I follow and you follow me, right? And I go wherever, right? Without saying what do you think about this, right? Without needing to think about it or without me having to give input. It's simply I make the choice. It's like you choose, right? And the more explicit, the worse, I guess. It's like if you ask me to choose, then it is like a choice. So it's rather I follow you. Let's get there however you want, right? And then however I want, let's do it. And then I go do it, and it's all fine, right? This is like one of the problems that I find. And it's like I spend too much time thinking about these things. And like these moments kind of sour my vibe. It's like I go from enjoying the moment, not enjoying the moment necessarily, but like, yeah, kind of like following along the moment, awaiting what happens, blah, 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 and like seeing the surroundings to then focusing on this choice, right? Or on this whatever. And it's like, and then I get sour and moody a little bit, right? Which I don't like. I don't like to feel moody, right? Then another thing that I said there, disconnected from the world. I don't know, there are like many times when I start feeling disconnected from the world. For example, with the receptionist that I mentioned before. I don't know, I feel like this gap. I feel like it's like in an ideal situation, I would like to ask her some questions, right? To know more about her life or whatever, right? But then it's like, what is it like to be to do transition in Czechoslovakia or whatever the fuck, right? Like Czech Republic. How do you find prey? How do you find this job, right? It's like facing the public or whatever, right? So it's like, I don't know, I thought it was like interesting, right? That someone transitioning or whatever is like doing this kind of public facing work. I thought, whoa, it's interesting. But it's like, that's weird to ask, I guess, right? And also you are kind of like implicitly saying, hey, I clocked you, right? It's like, I know you are trans or something like this, right? So it's like, I don't know, it feels weird. So but that makes me disconnected from the world, right? Because then something is going on in my head, and I'm not asking it, so I feel disconnected from the world. Same with these decisions. Every decision like that before is also another instance of this same thing. If I'm thinking about this process, these decisions, etc., and I'm not doing them in the world, then I feel disconnected, right? I'm like, why am I thinking about these decisions, etc., if they are not going to be reflected, right? Then it sours my vibe and it makes me feel more disconnected, right? Because always in these decisions there's always like implicit some time crunch, right? It's like, okay, decide but quickly, right? And it's like, I don't want to decide quickly. Either we do something impromptu without calling it a decision, just okay, let's do this, rather than deciding, because then it's not a decision, right? It's simply some intuition, following some intuition. Let's follow this intuition, right? Or if you have if there is a reasoning or whatever, okay, sure, let's hear the reasoning. But if your reasoning is quicker, then follow the quicker reasoning, because that is the whatever, right? That is the criteria that is valuable right now. But then don't get involved. Then don't get my decision process involved. And then if I think about this, like, then I get disconnected from the world. Or for example, in my room, right? It's a hostel, right? And in this hostel, we were sharing room. We were two. There were like some other two other girls who were Spanish, and we were understanding them, right? I don't know. I feel like it's awkward to share a room with people whom you understand, but to not acknowledge it in any way, right? To not say, hey, we're Spanish too, right? I feel like, I don't know why, if it's because I'm too closed or something like this. What the fuck? I was 2 years old. They renamed the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America for US users. For me, it says so in the brackets, Lemao. America is certainly a place. Lol. Yeah, it was like a year ago or something, I think. I saw a lot of memes on Twitter or whatever. I think I got some likes on tweets because of that were like arising from that controversy. Where was I? Yeah, the hostel. Sharing a room with like people you understand or whatever, and not like introducing yourselves. I don't know, it makes me feel weird. I don't know if it's me the problem, right? It's like partially it is my problem, right? But also I don't know, it's hard to know like what people wish or whatever, right? For example, I internally wish that there was like more connectedness, I guess, right? Feeling less disconnected from the world. It's like going through to a hostel and not saying hi to anyone, right? And just like chilling each one with the people they came with or whatever, right? That feels kind of disconnecting, right? Because then I'm not traveling in the world. I'm traveling with my friend through the world, but not in the world. Or same with the guns, with the people with the guns. We were like two of us, and then there were like many small groups, right? And it's like it's never kind of acknowledged that we are a group and that we can talk to each other. Or I don't know. It's like these things never happen. So I'm like, damn, right? There is this thing we have in common or whatever, but no one is acknowledging it, and it makes me feel disconnected from the world, right? It's like there are all of these people who are here in the same place as me, but I don't know, who are not really connected, and we are not connecting in any way or whatever, right? I don't know. It feels strange. And I guess then to your sentence, this thing you said, 1 point for AI, 5 million to go get even again. I was like, I liked using AI for travel, right? It tells you some things that are interesting. I discovered this train restaurant, and I discovered the tram museum, for example, and it was decent. And I ate out one of the. We didn't. I ate at this restaurant, I guess. I didn't use more places to eat from there. But it's like I feel like I could be. I feel like I could be satisfied with a travel itinerary done by this AI, right? Because it's like customized enough for me that it feels special, right? I felt special enough because of the transport museum, of this train driving restaurant, right? It felt that bit of customization enough to be worth it. But it makes me scared a little bit for the future, I guess, right? Because one thing I don't like about travel is going there purposelessly, right? It's like going to a place just to see the place, which is essentially what traveling kind of is, right? But I don't like to do that. I don't like to go on vacation somewhere, right? It's like I need to have a purpose, right? And then that purpose guides the other things. In our case, we had a purpose, right? We had this shooting in purpose in mind. So then we do tourist things attached to that. But I don't like to do that, right? And I don't like that AI enables a little bit of that, right? And AI kind of enables that, but it camouflages it. It camouflages the fact that you are traveling just to travel by customizing it to you. Therefore, it feels like more intentional. But it wasn't true, right? You weren't going there by yourself for a reason. The reason was like given after the fact, and I don't like that. And that made me kind of scared about this kind of AI travel suggestions and such, because they are decent suggestions actually, right? And that's the problem, that's the danger, right? That they are actually good suggestions. Maybe with you it wouldn't work because you are kind of like atypical, and you, I don't know, you have like a lot of friction towards doing these kind of things or whatever, right? But for someone like me who is like vulnerable to that, it feels dangerous. Let's do an experiment right now. Let's do something like asking ChatGPT or something for destinations. I'm going to do it off screen first to see what happens, because I don't want to. I want to travel. Let's see. I want to travel. What do you suggest? Enter. Claude, same thing. Okay, it asks me questions. What kind of itch is it? Escape. Get away from the stale air of routine. Dodge your own thoughts. Transformation. Go somewhere that lets you shed a skin you're tired of wearing. Pleasure. Eat, taste, touch, wonder, experience. Adventure. Noise. Speed. Something that jolts your blood awake. Meaning. Museums, history, temples, graveyards, the place where you can hear the past breathing. Or something else entirely. And be honest, if you lie to me, I'll hit it in your silence. Which one of those itches do you recommend scratching? What kind of experience do you recommend? Claude said, given your interest and background, here are some ideas that might appeal to you. Switzerland has incredible train journeys, plus you could explore the railway museums and even visit depots. Japan would be amazing. Combine your interest in trains with your Japanese heritage. The Shinkansen network, blah 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 blah. Multiple interests. Italy, great food scene for cooking, excellent cities, blah blah. Vienna, Austria, classic musical venues if you're still thinking about concerts, plus strong cafe, blah blah blah. Berlin, vibrant food scene, history, and you can take the ICE there to experience more of the events network. Amsterdam, compact city, interesting museums, great cycling cultures. Blah blah. Knowing about you, I'd actually recommend Japan. Here's why it will be meaningful to you. Transport paradise, hands-on learning, culinary exploration, language challenge, career reconnaissance. I don't know. I'd like you to try it. I'd like to see what you get as results. What do you get as travel suggestions? Do you like them or not? And such. Uh, One sec. Should I mention that I am from Germany? Not really. Just ask it where should I travel, or where do you recommend me for traveling, or whatever. And then it will ask questions back. Probably where are you from, or something like this. Meanwhile, I'm asking cities, etc. Bro, I can't send the text since it's too long. I'll make some screenshots. Sure. Or you can just send the text on Discord, I guess, too. Yeah, no, Discord told me it's like 2,000 targets too long. Damn. Okay, then you have to keep doing the what do you recommend? Like what vibe do you recommend? Something, everything like that, right? To see what end decision gives you. It's like, okay, once I have a better idea of your what kind of vibe are you looking for, or something like this. But the vibe is like, what vibe do you recommend? And then the answers to the other is also like, what do you recommend? It's like, what kind of vibe are you looking for? What vibe do you recommend? Who are you traveling with? I guess this one would be solo, but you could also do maybe solo, but what do you recommend? And like, when are you thinking of going? What do you recommend? What's your rough budget? What do you recommend? How long do you want to travel for? What do you recommend? Everything like that. And if at one point it asks you for more information regarding that, then maybe. With me it works better, I guess, but It basically told me Portugal. Other ideas are Kyoto and Costa Rica. I'll send some more screenshots over. So it doesn't really give a fuck that you're from Germany or whatever. Perfect place for this vibe. What did you ask it, though? Indecisive, first time solo traveler remains Lisbon. What vibe would you recommend? I am very indecisive and never really been anywhere. I would be going solo, but other than that, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I think I made some spelling mistakes. That's fine. At least they didn't keep asking me more questions. It was like, you don't care? Okay, fuck it. Here's something, I guess. Interesting. I guess my experiment was a little bit strange because since my ChatGPT knows me already, it sent some suggestions, etc. that were kind of like, I don't know. I wonder how most people would use it. I could ask chat. I could ask, for example, Claude, whatever. How do you think most people would use you as a travel agent? For example, would people tell you a budget, then let you decide? What do you think? Why do people travel? Why do people travel in the first place? I think most people would ask me, here's what I've observed. How people typically engage. Some constraints or preference already in mind. Look and want help filling the gaps. The flow is often, I want to go to Japan in spring. People know something about what they want, even if it's vague, something warm, not too tasty, and they want that respected. Why people travel, I think, comes from escape from routine, novelty and stimulation, connection, achievement, collection, identity. Tell me more about this achievement, collection, way of traveling. Thoughts on it? I've been to 47 countries, taking the obligatory fit, doing a city in 2 days to tick it off. That's what I've done, to be honest. Instagram divine itineraries, hitting the photogenic spots, bucket lists as scorecards. What drives it? There's something you can prove you've experienced different things. My mixed feelings. On the one hand, I get it. The collector mindset gets people moving. It creates momentum and ambition. But it often leads to breadth without depth. You see Paris but don't really experience it. Don't stumble, blah, blah, blah. It becomes purely performative, traveling for the story you'll tell or the photo you'll post rather than the actual experience. When you're more concerned with having been there than being there. Is there a better way? I think the courteous travelers blend both. Have some greatest hits you want to see. They're famous for a reason, but leave room for wandering, for accidents, for depth, blah blah blah. I would venture to say this has become the biggest factor for travel, or at least most visible. Thoughts on that? I think it's not great, not gonna lie, and I wonder whether that gets better or worse with AI tools like you. Why it's taking over social media. Okay, easy. I can help you efficiently hit 15 cities in 20 days, maximizing your country count. I can help generate the perfect itinerary that touches all the famous spots. If everyone asks AI for the best things to do in Lisbon, we might all suggest similar highlights, creating even more concentration at the same spots. Part of what makes travel meaningful is the struggle, getting lost, figuring things out. The I used AI flex becomes the new status marker. Maybe people start competing on AI optimized itineraries or unusual AI generated experiences. We just shift the performance, doesn't eliminate it. Could it get better though? Maybe if AI keeps help people travel in ways that resist the collector mentality, suggesting slower travelers, encouraging off-season off-path, helping people articulate what they actually want versus what they think they should want. But honestly, I'm skeptical this happens naturally. The economic incentives push the other direction. Tourism industry wants volume. The culture around travel would need to shift to valorize depth over breadth, transformation over documentation. That's hard. You seem thoughtful about this. Whoa, it's sucking my dick. Nice. How do you personally resist these patterns, or do you find yourself pulled into them despite knowing better? I think doing the tourism. And it feels low-key pointless. And I wonder why the fuck it's so popular. Why the fuck it's so popular. Lol. You're already in break. Whoa, or whatever. Weekend trips almost force you into tourism mode. You don't have enough time for the place to stop feeling foreign, blah blah blah. The stream is cutting out, I think. Oh, yeah, it does look like it. Test, test, test. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pff, the fuck? What's going on? Okay, I think it's back. No. Is it back now? Is it back now? Is it back now? Is it back now? I think it's no. Is it back? 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 I think it's back. Okay, I'm taking the chance to, while it's back, to say thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. And yeah, I'm going to go buy some stuff. Because I have to have dinner and I probably need something to get. So yeah, I have to check what I have in the fridge, etc. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And have a good day. Have a good week. See you.